We continue to follow developing news on a story that we first brought to you last night. A heavy police presence on Monroe Street in Holyoke because of a domestic hostage situation. That suspect arrested in the incident, making his first court appearance this morning. Welcome everyone to Western Mass News at noon on this Thursday. I'm Chris Pisano. Western Mass News reporter Matt Price joins us now live outside Holyoke District Court with more details. Matt, what have we learned?
Well, Chris, that suspect who has been identified as Jaden Perez stepping into the courtroom about an hour and a half ago and is currently being held without bail. All this following this scary and hectic situation that occurred last night in the city. We want to show you a video from when our Western Mass News crew first arrived on scene. According to Holyoke police, calls came in at around 8 p.m. about someone with a gun and that suspect was allegedly holding a woman against her will inside an apartment at 15 Monroe Street. Multiple agencies were at the scene, including Massachusetts State Police, and yellow tape had blocked off the area of Monroe and Dwight Street. Holyoke Police Chief Brian Keenan saying the woman, who has not been identified, was able to walk out of the apartment at around 9:45 p.m. and was treated for minor injuries at the scene. And then the suspect, Jaden Perez, surrendered to officers a short time later. Police finding a loaded gun when they searched the apartment. Police say the suspect did have a license to carry, but that is now being suspended. Perez currently facing a number of charges, including kidnapping, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, assault with a dangerous weapon, assault and battery on a family or household member, and assault on a family or household member. According to officials inside the courtroom, as well as a representative from the Hampden District Attorney's Office, Perez is expected to have a dangerousness hearing sometime early next week. In the meantime, again, Jaden Perez is being held without bail. Stick with us both on air and online as we continue to follow the latest on this case. For now, reporting live in Holyoke, Matt Price, Western Mass News.